All right, guys, thanks for being here today for our next video in our Google Classroom Basics series. Today, we're going to be looking at, I know the one you've all been waiting for, how to post assignments in Google Classroom. So I'm excited about it. I know you're excited about it. Let's jump in and post some assignments and see what that looks like. All right, so let's post some assignments. Assignments are different than announcements. Okay, announcements show up in your class stream. They do not show up in the classwork. However, assignments will show up in both the classwork and the stream, but we need to post them from classwork. So let's go over to our classwork tab, and here we can create an assignment. So we're going to hit create, and I am going to upload an assignment here from my Google Drive. All right, so I'm going to go to add from my Google Drive, and here we go. We've got an assignment here that was made earlier in Google Docs, so we're going to add that. We're going to give it a title and some instructions. Now, the next most important step that you almost always want to do is you want to come over here where the file is, pick the drop-down box, and change it to make a copy for each student. This way, when it gets assigned, it's going to push out to them, and they're going to have their own copy in their Google Drive, which they can then work on and return to you, and it doesn't mess with your original master, and they each have their own paper, their own assignments, so they're working individually. And they can't mess each other's stuff up, and they also can't mess yours up. So we could hit assign right now, and it's going to go get posted in our classwork. We could schedule it. So we want to go to schedule. We can schedule it ahead of time for another date and time in the future, and it will automatically post at that time. That is a fantastic option to use if you have overachievers like I have who, maybe you're working late at night and you post this stuff in Google Classroom and they'll get a notification on their phone and they'll do it in the middle of the night. And then this in class board the next day. So I learned to schedule stuff ahead of time instead of posting it too early. We can also, again, we can post this in all of our class sections. If we've got 7, 8 sections of this class and we want it to go to all of them, we can check those boxes and make it go to all those classes. We could change, if we don't want this to go to all the students, we could change it for who we want the assignment to go to for differentiation purposes. A due date, we can give it a due date, and if it is turned in after the due date, Google Classroom will accept the assignment. It will just mark it late for you, which is fantastic. So you're still allowing the kid to turn the assignment in, but Google Classroom is going to let you know that it was turned in late. And of course, we can assign it to these topics that we talked about earlier, so we could pick a topic to post it in. As far as our organization goes, that's how we're going to assign a assignment in Google Classroom. So let's pop that in there. It's thinking about it. Boom, there we go. We've got our first assignment here, Algebra 1 assignment for Monday, 29 June. And now our students are going to be able to access and complete that assignment. So that was a Google Doc that we posted. You could also post a Google slide, any sort of thing. So we'll go back to assignment again. We'll pick our Google Drive. It'll load. Eventually, we'll pick our algebra assignment. This is a Google slide activity. Same thing. We need to put some instructions and a title on there. And when we hit assign, it's going to pop up there in the stream. Let's see what else we can do. So let's go to quiz assignment. So what quiz assignment is going to do is it's basically going to make a Google Forms quiz for you, which is a super fantastic tool to use. And I tell you what, in the description of this video, I will put some links to my videos on making Google Forms quizzes and how you can use those in class. One of my favorite things. It's a great way to check for understanding real quickly. You could do some multiple choice questions. It's going to automatically give the students feedback and everything. Notice here we have grade importing turned off and on. We have to make sure that I have that turned on if we want the Google Classroom to pull the grades from the Google form. Also, I've heard that if you have more than one attachment to one of these assignments, it will not pull over the grades from Google Forms. So if you're running into that problem where you can't get your grades to pull over from Google Forms, make sure that you only have this one activity on the post. So if you haven't already created it ahead of time, then you're going to use this option to create your quiz now. So we can click on blank quiz and it's going to pop up and we're going to be able to insert our questions, type our questions and everything in there and make our quiz for the kids to do. And then we're going to assign it or schedule it for a later time. Let's take a look at question. We go to create and question, and we can type a question here that we want the students to answer. We could add some additional instructions if we wanted to. We can change the answer type. Maybe we just want them to have a short answer, or we can change it to multiple choice. So we're going to give that option out there as a way to check for understanding, to have a little assignment to do in Google Classroom. This is different than making an announcement question, because with this, only you are going to be able to see the students' answers. They're going to be turning in their answer directly to you, as opposed to sharing with the class as a comment on a post. So that's a question. And let's check out material. If we've got some other materials here that we want to post, basically from our Google Drive, we can post it through a material as well. Okay, the last thing in our create menu is reuse post. So I've made this assignment in my first period class. So let's say I decide I want to put it in my second or third period class. Also, I want to repeat it there. I don't want to have to recreate the entire thing. So I would go to that class period, and then I'd go to create and pick reuse post. And this assignment from my first period will come up, and I'll have the option of selecting that and repeating it in the other class period without having to start over from scratch. That is posting assignments in Google Classroom, guys. As far as the assignments that you post and making them and creating them is a whole different ball game, and it's a lot of fun. And I've got lots of ideas on that as well available on my website, edtechmrbrown.com. You can check that out.
Oh, hey, before you go, pause here so you can go look these things up and like and subscribe them. EdTech Mr. Brown, Twitter's EdTech Mr. Brown, YouTube EdTech Mr. Brown, Facebook. Thank you.